Welcome to Bad Gear, the show about the world's most hated audio tools. As you might have assumed, I can be a bit of a control freak. The bass needs to be tight, drum breaks must hit different, and every setup is synced with the precision of an Austrian cyborg. Today we are going to talk about SOMA Lyra-8. This organismic synthesizer, ritual object and icon of industrial civilization doesn't seem like an instrument you can play. It plays you.
At the first glance, it is hard to tell whether the orange or pink version will go for higher prices in 2030. Keyboards are for normies, so the 8 analog voices of the military-grade machine are graced by what seem to be the controls of a Scientology testing device. Tone generators cover different ranges. They can be tweaked between mellow and harsh, and are not quantized in pitch. Tuning them is a satisfying process though. An archaic envelope aside, that's it for the individual voice duos, but the synth is all about a mysterious matrix of frequency modulation functionality anyway. Oscillator pairs can be modulated by their direct neighbors, a surprisingly complex LFO we will have a look at in a minute, or the signal of Lyra's main output including all FX. An external CV source is welcome too. The 2 decks of this noise music DJ setup have a master tuning knob each, and there's a hold knob for sustained notes. Its interplay with the envelope switch and modulation intensity of the voice pairs is hard to describe. Hold gate input lets you control the hold function using external signals, but sustained notes of the single voices might require a paid upgrade. You can achieve a higher level of modulation interdependency by introducing a more complex FM structure. There's a dedicated non-adjustable vibrato generator for each voice. The aforementioned Hyper LFO offers 2 square oscillators which can be soft-synced and either added or multiplied, which allows for complex patterns. This tightly knit web of modulation possibilities is garnished with a similarly complex modulation delay, consisting of 2 unsyncable delay lines. You can choose between self-modulation, the output of the end function of the LFO when set to square, and a cryptic triangle variety only available here. Feel free to swap these modulation sources for external CV. It goes without saying that self-oscillation of the feedback parameter can be rather extreme. I'm a big fan of the distortion effect. It comes with a mix knob and can be considered to be the mastering stage of the instrument. The unit's balanced mono output is helpful to keep away any additional noise from the intentionally noisy circuitry of the synth. Multiple outputs would have been great for surround applications and further processing though. In spite of the interfacing facilities mentioned above, the instrument is not necessarily a team player. It doesn't adhere to the CV conventions of any modular synthesis standard I am aware of, and while you can achieve basic tonality by using your ears, tuned musical scales were not in the focus of Lyra's creator. This big and heavy chunk of beautiful low-tech goodness is available for the price of an Akai MPC-1 Plus or Roland SP404 MK2 Stone Throw Edition, and you might wanna give the free software emulation a shot.
SOMA Lyra-8 is a refreshingly different take on analog synthesis. Will it open up new worlds of sound design and ritualistic music making, or is the king naked?
You have already heard the organismic synth in today's intro tune. That would have been a 15,000 euro job back in my theater days. I wanna know if we can find 30 seconds of bad gear worthy material in a 20-minute jam.
Regardless of how random it might seem, playing Lyra isn't easy. Being familiar with the underlying synthesis principles doesn't help much. You have to surrender yourself to the weird structure and philosophy. The LFO and FX section are remarkable. Although I enjoy free-form jams like this, it is time to satisfy my synth head OCD and use Lyra as a normal synth and FX centerpiece. Although it is possible to turn Lyra into a somewhat conventional synthesizer, it is definitely not built for that. Due to the complex modulation relationships, timbre and tonality are changing constantly, and it is difficult to keep it stable over a longer period of time. Let's try to find the sweet spot between my usual music production approach and the unpredictable nature of the instrument in a monstrous montage of madness for 0 years theater productions, subwoofer benchmarks and general uneasy listening. As someone who dissects synthesizers for a living, I oftentimes find it challenging to naively enjoy the process of creating sounds and making music. Lyra-8 seems to be the perfect antidote to that. My usual tricks don't work here, result-driven strategies are not rewarded at all, and the only way to make it sound good is to let go. I might not have used Lyra-8 as intended by its creator, but it was, without a doubt, at the center of a synth ritual which takes place on this channel every Friday at 6 PM CET. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Feel free to like, subscribe, become a patron and leave a comment what other kind of gear you would like to see and hear on the show.